Now over to Davos, Switzerland, where Brian Chung sat down with Coca-Cola Chief Sustainability Officer and got her take about how the brand is taking an environmental approach to business. Let's watch.
So sustainability for us is really important, and WWW stands for World Without Waste. And the way we move into that is really around our packaging initiatives, which has a significant impact when you think about different materials designed in to reduce the carbon footprint. So we just open up our intellectual property on our plant bottle technology. We said, why save it just for ourselves? Because actually, if it can reduce the carbon footprint in the world, let's get even our competition to have access to it. And so for us, we just announced that. But we have a 3-component strategy in World Without Waste. Design in new materials, so recycled PET, plant bottle, also what's being innovated in the marketplace. Then the other component is collection. So it's really great if you have good materials, but if you don't collect them, you're still a part of that pollution problem in the oceans. And so it's really important for us to have infrastructure, partner with governments, other businesses, and make sure our collection systems are in place so we can keep recovering and be a part of the circular economy. And the last W is that's all about how do you make sure partnerships are happening in that strategic pillar. So I love W's, I have to tell you, because
I can feel it, yeah.
Because it's World Without Waste, but we have water initiatives, women, and we think about well-being of communities. So you will see there's a huge theme in sustainability for us where I just love W's.
So when we think about all of those initiatives, they're folded into ESG, environmental, social, corporate governance issues. This is becoming a hot thing within corporate America or around the world as well. Do consumers and investors respond well to ESG initiatives like that? Why should consumers and investors care?
Well, now institutional investors have started to care. I'd say there's been a group of social investors who have always cared and have seen long-term value. You probably saw a couple years ago, Larry Fink from BlackRock wrote an open letter to CEOs and said, these issues are more and more important, and we're going to evaluate companies on these. I jumped up and down for joy. I was like, finally. But I think the reason why they finally are paying more and more attention is because over 62% of consumers are saying, I want to support brands who help me make a difference in this world. And that's an Ipsos study. We see similar data around the world. So their investor base is changing hands. The baby boomers' wealth is transferring to the millennials.
Priorities are changing.
You got it. Mm-hmm. They're the consumers. They care about these issues, and so the investors now care. And ESG is critically important for companies to create long-term value.
So James Quincy has been speaking about kind of the outlook and saying that there could be perhaps a global slowdown. Not particularly worried about it right now, though. How do you kind of change your strategy if there is a global slowdown? Obviously, Coca-Cola is a very global brand, so how do you think about that?
Well, it's a portfolio, and so I think we have the benefit of operating in over 200 countries where when one slows, some others are growing. So it's always balancing the portfolio and understanding what's actually happening in the marketplace. And I think the way James Quincy has said it is that it's just not growing as fast as we would like it to grow. So while some people say that's a slowdown, for us, we'd like to see faster, accelerated growth, and we want to see how can we drive that.
Mm-hmm. Specific products or regions that are kind of a focus? We know that the Coke Zero product has been very popular for you. What are kind of focus brands and locations for 2019?
Well, for us, because we truly are a global local business, we operate locally, employ locally, produce locally. We look at what is that consumer landscape wanting in that marketplace. So Coke is relevant all around the world. So we have different core brands. But if I specifically go into a region, tea might be more important. So we just did a huge launch here in Europe around our Fuse tea brand, and we did multiple countries at one time. Significant growth came from that. It was one of the most phenomenal launches I've seen in my 25-year career history because we were able to roll it out quickly, and then the consumers responded.